And the real reason I wanted to have this event was so that you guys could meet each other and start talking. I had a meetup a couple of months ago, and at that meetup, a lot of people were able to talk with each other, form masterminds, and some of those masterminds are still going strong, and people were able to connect with each other and support each other. One of the first speakers here today is Tyler. Tyler and I started talking 2 years ago online, and it's made a huge difference in both of our businesses. And this is the first time we're meeting in person, which is pretty awesome. So I want to have Tyler come up first, and he's going to talk about what it is that he does, and he's going to answer any questions you guys have. So everyone, Tyler.
Hey guys. So yeah, as Paul said, my name's Tyler. I run a YouTube channel called Dropship Tyler. I've been dropshipping since January of 2017, so a little over 2 years. Paul and I actually took the same course, which was the David Vu course on Udemy. It's a $10 course, and ever since then I've just been doing dropshipping. But basically I started and I made money my first month, lost money my second month because I hired an employee, took on too many expenses. And from there, and I was also working a desk job at the time. So I was able to actually put fuel into my business with that money from my desk job into my eBay business. So 6 months after I started was when I actually was able to replace my income, and I quit my job. And at that point, I'm kind of fortunate. I know not everyone's in the same situation, but I was telling some people before this that I was lucky because I had parents that were really supportive. I'm 27 and I quit my job when I was 25. Had parents who were super supportive, and they were basically like, if you're gonna quit your job, just move back home with us, and until you figure out that you can do this full time and actually make this a sustainable business, because they had their doubts obviously. And they were basically saying, until you get to that point, just come live with us. Don't take on any monthly expenses. I did that. I lived with them for 5 or 6 months. I rented an office near downtown Charlotte, which is where I'm from, Charlotte, North Carolina. And I basically just grinded on my business every single day as hard as I could. And I actually worked probably harder in my life than I ever have or ever did at the desk job on my business every day. I was getting in, as early as I could, driving there, because I didn't want to hang out at my parents' house all day, obviously. I mean, I'm sure you guys can understand that. So at that point, I was driving as soon as I woke up, going to that office, first one there, last one to leave, but the only difference was that desk I rented, that was just me, and my computer, everything I did directly affected my business rather than, answering to somebody else or, whatever. I was doing Amazon dropshipping as well to kind of diversify my income. Once I got to that point where I had eBay going and Amazon going, had money saved, I was able to move out and get my own apartment. Everything had been going so smooth. I really hadn't had that many issues in my business, especially because we started at a time where you could literally just list items any way you wanted to. And I mean, you can attest to this probably. No matter what method you did, whether it was bulk listing or just listing items one at a time, optimizing them, whatever strategy you were using, you were gonna make money, straight up. I don't know if you guys watch YouTube and know who Jack Pittman is, but he was a perfect example of that, where he was listing items, thousands of items, or tens of thousands of items, and he actually did make money for a few months doing that before he had some issues. But it's just, nowadays that's not the case. You need to be really strategic with how you're sourcing your items, how you're putting them up. And again, this all goes back to, I think manual dropshipping is kind of the best way to do it now with no software. Because my method when I first started was literally putting up as many items as I could, but they were optimized titles, but they weren't research items. And I had virtual assistants doing this where they were just finding items on Home Depot and Walmart, just putting them up, changing the title, and I never really deleted items. My insertion fees and all that on eBay got really high, obviously cutting into my profit, but I just felt like the more items I put up, each one had a positive expected value to it, where if each listing is worth 10 cents, why not just put up 3,000 more listings and make $300 more a month, right? That was my mentality. I carried that mentality really until eBay started flagging dropshippers back in April, which if you guys have been dropshipping for the past year or longer, you probably know what I'm talking about. Basically what happened is, it's been confirmed at this point really through eBay reps and all of that. eBay is trying to limit the number of dropshippers that they have on their site, or the number of dropshipped listings they have on their site. Because from a customer service point of view and searching for items, in my opinion, I don't think eBay wants a lot of the same items up, like, you know, hundreds of the same items up, which is what a lot of these softwares are allowing people to do. Especially the software that I was a big advocate on, which is called Sale Freaks. That software, you can list, you know, thousands of items a day and you have no idea what's in your store, but all of the Sale Freaks users are pretty much listing the same items. So that's kind of, I think, where eBay may have gotten that point of view from just because when someone's searching for an item, you know, they don't want to see the same item on repeat over and over again. So in my opinion, that's why they're kind of limiting the dropship listings right now. And the way they're flagging dropshippers is through the softwares that they use, in my opinion. Again, this isn't 100% confirmed, but from what I've seen in the accounts I've tested, if you're using software through the API, which is how the software and eBay communicate with each other, how listings get put up, how price changes happen, all of that stuff, eBay can actually recognize what the software is doing, and they can blacklist these softwares. And at that point, if you're dropshipping using those softwares, that's when the flagging happens. That's when your items go to page 5 instead of page 1 where they used to be. And you know, in March and April, I was making 5 figures each month profit on eBay. And after that, I haven't had a 5-figure profit month since. And it seems like every single month, my profits went down. And it was because I was a flagged account. My promoted listings wasn't working as of November 1st. And it's just a lot harder to do, especially if you're just starting off and you need to keep your costs down and you're not making sales. It's gonna be hard to use software and cover the expenses of that. And so my big thing now is, if you're just getting into dropshipping and you wanna be successful with it, in my opinion, the motivation of keeping on going is gonna come from, you know, profits, whether it's a small amount or whether it's a large amount, and not losing money. So eBay gives you 50 free listings to start your business, basically. And I would suggest that everybody take those 50 free listings and use them, and just, you know, list a quantity of one, depending on your limits or whatever. But really just start with 0 cost. Keep spreadsheets of your items and do it that way. Don't use software at the beginning. Don't use anything that's going to cost you money, because then you risk, you know, losing money. I was in a situation where, I guess at the time, for me, like I said, I was working a desk job. I could put money into it, all of that. It really depends on your situation. I feel like a lot of people that get into dropshipping, they're looking for a way to, you know, make money quickly and get going. And whether it's something in your life that you need to pay for or whatever, losing money is just not a good way to start your business. So again, that comes into play with the manual dropshipping and the software. It really depends on how well you know how to work with each source and all the hacks with each source. And that's one of the big things if you're getting into this, if you're getting into dropshipping. Start with one source and figure that source out. Every single thing that you can do to make an extra dollar with that source is going to help you be more competitive with your pricing. Because this isn't as easy as when you know, we started in 2017. There's a lot more people doing it because there's a lot more people like Paul and I who are starting YouTube channels, literally just giving away all of the information. So it's pretty easy for people to get started now. But yeah, with that,
cool.
Thanks guys.
Thanks.